All right, we're back with another story, Tales of Tutu, Nene, and Nele. And remember, the Nene is the Hawaiian goose, and it's the state bird of Hawaii. And this book is very special to me because about 10 years ago, my mom and dad went to Hawaii and they bought this book in Hawaii and brought it back for me to read to you. So I'm going to read Tales of Tutu, Nene, and Nele. And this book was written by Gail Bates and illustrated by Carol Hines McCarty. In Hawaii, a tutu is a grandmother who is known for her stories and wise words. The Nene is Hawaii's state bird and is believed to be the rarest goose in the world. Nele loves to listen to her tutu's tales. When she finds a hole in the fence and escapes into the wild, her grandmother's words have a profound effect upon her survival. That means they were very important. The lives of endangered species always hang in delicate balance, and this tale will help you appreciate their ongoing struggle to survive. And this book is dedicated to the men and women involved in the care and preservation of the Nene at the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. And proceeds, it means part of the money that was spent to buy this book, will be given to Volcanoes National Park. As the sun set over the slopes of the great volcano Mauna Loa, Tutu Nene flew over the fence and into the open pens in the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. The open pens provide a safe haven for young Nene until they were old enough to survive on their own in the wild. It was storytelling hour. All the young Nene had been waiting anxiously for their grandmother, especially Nele, who was Tutu's favorite grandchild. "Tutu, Tutu, tell us a story," Nene cried eagerly. "Gather round, children." Tutu smiled and spread her large wings. "Long ago, many Nene lived on our Hawaiian island. They were our ancestors," Tutu explained seriously. "They lived in kapukas, which are the soft, grassy areas between the lava flow on the slopes of the volcano. In springtime, the Nene tasted new plants and berries and spent their days roaming the island from the mountain to the ocean. It was a happy time." Tutu sighed. "Over the years, many of our ancestors were killed by hunters and wild cats. Then one summer, our ancestors were faced with a new danger, the fearsome mongoose. The mongoose arrived from a land far away, and he loved to eat Nene eggs. But most of all, he liked to attack young Nene who could not fly. To protect the Nene from the dangers of the island, the park rangers built the open pens for us." Tutu paused and looked very carefully at all the young Nene. "That is why you must stay here until your wings are fully grown," she warned in a stern voice. Standing up, Tutu stretched her long neck. "Look, children, here comes Ranger Cam with our dinner. Are you hungry?" "Yes, yes," the young Nene chanted as they followed Tutu to the feeding dishes. Hungrily, they pecked at the delicious crumble. Nele ate till her tummy was full. Then snuggling down, she dozed off, dreaming of kapukas, berries, and beautiful new wings. As the early morning mist rose above the trees, Nele was the first to wake. She walked along the boundary of the pen, eagerly pecking at the furry down on her small, undeveloped wing. Spotting a piece of wire sticking out of the grass, she stopped to peck at it. To her surprise, the wire sprang up, leaving an opening under the fence. A hole, Nele gasped. She poked, whoops, there you go. She poked her head into the hole. I think I can crawl under this fence, she thought excitedly. Forgetting Tutu's warning and the story of her ancestors, Nele slithered her neck under the wire fence. Wriggling and wriggling, she finally gave a big heave and scrambled through the hole. Nele scurried across the grass toward the trees. Nele pecked into a plump red berry. The tart, tangy flavor tasted delicious. It reminded her of Tutu's story about the juicy ohalo berry. Nele had always loved that name. Oh, hello, berry, she giggled, looking at the bush. Listening to the soft chatter of birds overhead, Nele waded through a sea of ferns. She felt a gentle tickle on her underbelly and ran a little faster, laughing at the sensation. She skipped along, feeling very happy in her new world. Suddenly, everything went black, and Nele found herself falling through the air. Help! She honked loudly as she felt herself sliding. Thud! She landed on a pile of wet moss. Slowly she stood upright and shook her feathers. Well, I can still walk, she said, but where am I? Cautiously she groped her way in the darkness. I hope there's a way out of here. A teardrop slid down her cheek. She bumped against something cold and screeched. Oh, Tutu! She cried. Where am I? All she heard was the drip, drip of water on the wet moss. Slowly she kept moving forward, her feet slipping here and there. It was hard to keep her balance in the dark, and she felt quite dizzy. Then she saw it, a tiny speck of light in the distance. Panting heavily, she ran towards the light. It grew brighter and brighter until suddenly she burst out into the open sunshine. I made it, she exclaimed. Nele looked back at the dark opening. She remembered the story Tutu told about a tunnel made many years ago called a lava tube. Wow! Nele exclaimed. I was in a lava tube. The warm sunshine felt good on her back. Nele was glad to be out in the fresh air. She waddled along, hoping to find more delicious berries. Ugh, what a terrible smell! Nele gulped. It smells like rotten eggs. She sniffed the twirling mist rising out of the cracks in the ground. Steam vents! Nele exclaimed. The volcano is letting out steam. All of Tutu's stories are coming true. She shrugged her feathers and hurried through the mist away from the stinky smell. Berries, berries, where are those berries? Chuck, chuck. Nele stopped. What an odd sound, she thought. Maybe it's a bird, or a gecko, or even a mouse. It would be nice to meet a new friend. Using her beak, she pushed around the green leaves of the shrub. Nele froze and felt her feathers stand on end as she peered into the eyes of a fat, brown mongoose. Chuck, chuck! The mongoose twitched his nose. Nele tried to tear her frightened eyes away, but the shimmering stare of the mongoose held her captive. Chuck, chuck! Slowly she moved one leg backward. The mongoose stepped forward. Nele was terrified. She would have to do something. She couldn't fly. She would have to run. And run she did. Over lava rocks, through the ferns and bushes she went, feeling the mongoose's hot breath on her tail. Desperately she tried to flap her small wings, but they just weren't ready to fly. "I'll never make it," she sobbed. Suddenly, out of nowhere, came a loud honking sound. Nele looked up to see her Tutu swoop down on the mongoose. Tutu spread her wings and stood erect, glaring at the mongoose. Nele shivered in the background. The mongoose stopped, his red-hot, beady eyes moving from side to side. Tutu fiercely flapped her large, powerful wings. Nele heard a long hiss. Slowly, the mongoose turned his furry brown body and crept out of sight. "Oh, Tutu!" Nele cried, rushing to her grandmother. "Quick, Nele!" Tutu warned. "Run home!" Still frightened, Nele followed her Tutu to the open pens as fast as her little legs could run. When Nele reached the pens, she was out of breath. Tutu flew in over the fence. Nele ran up and down looking for the hole. Where was it? All the young Nene inside the pens were chattering and looking at Nele. Then she heard it. Chuck, chuck. "Oh, no!" she cried, then sighed with relief as she realized it was only the sound of Ranger Cam opening the metal gate to the pens. Running towards him, she thrust herself through the gate. Tutu sat in her corner and Nele ran to her open wings. She was home at last, safe. Never again would she leave the open pens. Well, at least not until she had her beautiful, strong wings and could fly. And that's the end of our story about Tutu, Nene, and Nele.